So we know what the point of this Republican Congress is. It's to do one thing and one thing only. I guess also ban trans people from bathrooms. They did that. That's out of the way. Okay, so now everybody's problems are solved, and they can focus on their true goal, which is massive tax cuts for corporations and the wealthiest 1 or 0.1% of Americans. Now the issue with that is it's going to cost a lot of money, because estimates have put those tax cuts at $5 to $11 trillion over the next decade, which is a massive amount of money. So how do you pay that off? Well, we don't have an answer, because no matter how many social programs they decide to cut, it's never actually going to offset handing trillions of dollars over to the wealthiest people in the country. But they do want to do some cuts to do token payments towards paying off the rich. And so here's what they're going to do. And by the way, if you're a young person, if you're a college student or you aim to become one, yeah, they're coming for you, buddy. So on the chopping block, potentially, are several plans that students can opt into to repay their student loans, including the SAVE plan that was introduced by the Biden administration. That plan doesn't require borrowers to make payments if they earn less than 225% of the federal poverty line, just less than $33,000 a year for a single person, and prevents interest from adding to balances as long as borrowers make their monthly payments. The idea being that as long as you're being responsible and you're paying towards it, you shouldn't have a case where the balance is actually going up every single month. That's a sort of trap of debt that a lot of people get stuck in. And we don't want people's financial future to be ruined just because they decided to go to college, learn something, go into a specific field or whatever. So they're probably gonna cut that. Also, they want to end tax-free status for scholarships. So scholarships and fellowships have been exempt from taxes as long as they're used for tuition and related expenses. That would change under another proposal that's up for consideration. I don't even know how that's supposed to work, because you're getting the scholarship to pay for school because you're not working, because you're trying to focus on your education. So how exactly are you supposed to pay for that? I assume you end up having to take out more loans, personal loans, probably at higher interest rates. And so for the millions of students who are already suffering with student debt, look forward to more debt when they do this. And by the way, I love on the campaign trail, he'll be like, no tax on tips, no tax on whatever. F you students, tax on your scholarships, tax on your fellowships. And again, I thought they were for merit. You get a lot of these scholarships through merit, through doing well. No, now we're gonna take away a significant chunk of that. Isn't that fun? They're also gonna increase taxes on college endowments. So currently there's about a 1.4% tax on income from some endowments, okay, 58 institutions. They want to expand the number of colleges that have to pay that, and they want to make it slightly bigger. They wanna go from 1.4% to 14%, so 10 times higher on what is effectively, let's just keep it real, it's a wealth tax on universities. It's not income or whatever, it's the wealth that they're sitting on, their endowment. So to fund their priorities, they're doing a wealth tax on these universities. Now, you can't do a wealth tax on the rich. That's crazy. You're a socialist, you're a communist if you ever propose doing that. But they hate universities, so they're fine with doing that. They also may do massive fines against universities that they deem as protecting anti-Israel protesters. So if students are engaged in protests and things and you don't get rid of them from the university, you might face massive fines that would also help to offset some of the payoffs to corporations and the uber wealthy. And so the thing about this is, this totally fits in to their ideology of not giving a damn about education, and certainly not giving a damn about making it affordable. Every one of these things makes it less likely that you or your children will be able to go to universities. Or if you do, you're even more likely to be stuck in a lifelong trap of debt. But the fun thing about it is, their kids don't have to worry about this. The wealthy senators and all of that, the people who are getting the tax cuts will have even more money to just pay it off. They don't need to take these scholarships or these fellowships. They don't need to worry about that. They can just pay it off or whatever. They get legacy admission to the universities. Mama and papa cut a check to the university, so they get to go, and all of them will go, because for all of the demonizing they do of universities, they expect that every single one of their kids is gonna go to the best possible school they can. It's just that your kids might not be able to. And so this is like perfectly emblematic of their movement in so many ways, in terms of screwing people over and reversing the few things we actually got out of Joe Biden. David, what are your thoughts about this? I know it's a lot.
I agree wholeheartedly. I mean, it all gets to sort of the war on education that Donald Trump has been launching, and it's pretty remarkable when you pair this and you pair the difficulties that some universities are gonna have. I mean, they use their endowments for new buildings, for new research, for new initiatives, to employ more professors, to attract more students. And now they're going to be somewhat hamstrung by that. They're going to have to shell out more so that people who donate to their alma mater, like myself, are going to see some more money going to the federal government. But I thought we were supposed to have the federal government take in less money from all of us. And then when you pair all of this with the war on the Department of Education, which, by the way, I mean, all of the special education funding to all 50 states comes from the Department of Education. I mean, it's like, well, if you have a special ed kid, if you have a kid who's going to college who's not from a super wealthy family, if you're a professor, if you're academically minded, this is like the worst set of circumstances in modern US history. That's how bad this is.
Yeah, and look, I know that what they're gonna say is when everybody freaks out, as we are, as I think other people should, they'll be like, oh, you're elitist. You only care about people going to universities. First of all, it's the exact opposite of elitism because I want a country where anyone who wants to do this can. It's one of the things Bernie Sanders was running on, was making sure that anyone who wants to go to a public college for 4 years can do so. That we're gonna make that available to everyone. By the way, I also want massive funding and investment in trade schools and other paths. I want that. And by the way, Harris ran on a good amount of that. You're not getting that in this. It's not like they're cutting this and then putting that money into making sure that if you want to become an electrician, you can. And we desperately need tradesmen, by the way. I would love for that sort of investment. They're not doing that. They're doing all of this to justify handing over more money to people who are already sitting on a mountain of gold coins. You're getting screwed over. And the only thing that regular people get out of this is that some people, conservatives, who maybe they didn't go to college or they did, but now they think that people who go to college are entitled or whatever, get to be like, yeah, screw them. That's the only thing that regular MAGA people are getting out of all the flurry of activity over the past couple of weeks is screw them. People that I don't like are hurting. I'm hurting too. You know, these tariffs are gonna wreck me. They might put my business out of business. Prices are going up. But screw them, screw the trans field hockey player, screw the kid in Minnesota trying to go to college to become a doctor or whatever. Screw all of them. I don't like them, I don't know them. That's what they're getting.